All right, here's all we want to know from the panel. Your name, your age, okay? And then if you're single or dating.
I just realized they separated them. Like, why didn't they just mix
They
them?
did girls and guys, didn't they?
Yeah.
They did. All right, that's good. We should mix up though, but
Yeah.
next time. So why don't we start here and then we'll go that way. Name, age, and are you single or dating?
Hi, my name is Rachel. I'm 32.
32.
They told us to tell our profession too, so I
Okay.
am the connections directional leader here at Journey Church, which
Yeah.
is amazing. And I am single,
Awesome.
but I'm open to dating, so
What she said? What she said, Dan?
open to dating.
But you're taking names.
I'm open to dating.
Oh, open to
That's
getting
what
names.
I heard.
We need a monitor up here because
I
I'm gonna be
know, I
asking
can't
questions.
hear.
We just gotta go faster, all right? Or we're not getting to the questions. So name, age, profession, and are you single or not?
Hi, I'm Inez, and I'm 39.
39.
And I am single and ready.
Awesome.
And I work in the medical profession.
Let's go. Hey, really quickly, raise your hand if you're 40 plus and single. 40 plus and single. Let's go. Come on. Love it. Love it. We got your representation on stage here, all right? Let's go. Next.
Hi, my name is Lillian. I am a coordinator in the hospitality industry. I am single and taking applications.
And your age?
49.
49. Let's go.
My name is Angelina. I'm 28. I am the special ed director at a private school, and I am single and ready to date.
Okay. I didn't ask any of you if you were ready to date, but I'm glad that you're saying it so that people know, because that is important. So I'm waiting for the person who's like, I'm single and I'm good and I'm chilling, just here because they asked me to be here. Yeah.
Hello, my name is Bridget. I am 30 and I am a nanny and I am engaged.
Let's go. Awesome. All right, babe, you want to ask them,
Yes,
all right,
go ahead.
names? Y'all said, all the women, a lot of women, you know, there's no good-looking single guys at church. Or, I didn't say good-looking. They just said no good single guys at church. These guys are all good-looking. But you saw them all stand up. They're here, all right? So go ahead, babe.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. My name is Dave. I'm 37 years old. I am the creative director here at Journey Church, and I'm engaged to Bridget.
Hi, my name is Shaimik. I'm 23. I am in management at a certain place. I don't want y'all to pull up or anything like that, you know.
Wow.
Red flag, red flag, red flag. Why you don't want me to know where you work? Red flag.
And
Still not saying questions.
What's the other question? Age, single or dating? Or engaged?
I'm single.
Single, all right.
But like, you know, I'm cool, but like I've been asking God, like, you know, like whatever.
Yeah. Whatever, yo. I'm not saying I need it, but I'm saying it would be nice.
What's up? My name is Austin. I am 31 years old, and yeah, and I work in the AV industry, and I am happily taken.
Dating, all right. Back there, back there.
My name is Alex. I'm 26 years old. I'm a student, and I'm ready to date, but not rushing. So.
I like your voice, Alex. It's very soothing.
Hi, I'm Juan Marcos.
Juan
I'm
Marcos.
52 years old.
How old are you, Juan Marcos? How old are you?
52.
Come on, man. You look good for 52.
I'm a project manager for a French company, and I'm single and ready to date.
All right, let's go. All right, we're gonna answer some questions, and then we'll do some text questions, and then we'll do some live questions. Sometimes we'll ask you guys your opinion. Other times, Pastor Liz and I was just going to take it. And so, first question, I'm going to start here just because this is probably, of all the questions, the one I can't speak to because this wasn't even invented when we were single. But how have dating apps changed your approach to meeting people? How has dating apps changed your approach? Who wants to tackle that one? By a show of hands, just so I know.
They're having bad experiences? Like, no one wants to talk about it.
Nobody was like a bad dream or something. It's like, raise your hand if you are on the apps. Raise your hand, you're on the apps.
Tell the truth.
It's okay, don't be ashamed of it. I'm not like gonna blast apps. Like, technology's good. Okay, I don't see a lot of hands raised, which is great for all the girls who keep telling me there's nobody on the apps. They're here, apparently. And so, but for those who are on the apps, how have dating apps changed your approach? Who wants to take it? Rachel? Rachel, you've been on the apps?
I have been on the apps. There are green flags and a lot of red flags, but I think for me, one of the things that I've learned is that when I have anxiety about like controlling my dating life, the apps are helpful for that because I can like kind of feel like I have some control even though I have zero control. And so for me, when I get anxious and I'm like, oh, am I gonna be alone forever? The apps can kind of help do that. Prayer is the first thing always, but the apps can be helpful to see what's out there, start talking to people, meeting new people, and that can be really beneficial when it feels a little out of control.
Yeah, I think it's probably a great tool to help take some of the awkwardness out. But I've never been on them, so I'd be concerned only if you're like swiping 5 people. Like, I don't even know how it works.
Yeah.
Like, so you could be talking to 5 people at the same time and they don't know.
Right.
Oh, they know.
Yeah.
They know.
I think that's where I get a little, concerned about. Because I'm married. If I was single, I wouldn't want to be talking to somebody who was talking to 5 people anyway.
That's true.
That's the problem. At least when we're in person, I know, you know? But anyway, yeah. We're going to next question. Want to do a card question? Okay, you can do a text question. Yeah. Well, then I'll go to the next card question. All right. In today's...
You wanted me to go back up there?
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, this is the
You
first
did
time
good.
we do this. We're trying to mix it up.
You did good.
Okay, how to get over a relationship and not rush into dating someone?
How to get over a relationship
read it how it's
and
on
not
here.
rush into dating someone.
Oh, not rush.
Yeah.
Now.
So if you are in a relationship, y'all broke up, and now you don't want to rush into the next relationship. That's a great question.
Yeah.
What do you think?
You just gotta make sure. Like, I remember I was on an Uber ride recently, and this guy was literally in the car telling me he's married now, but he broke up with one girl and got with the next one in the same day. Like, broke up with one girl in the morning. Yeah. No, they ended up getting married. But, I mean, I don't know how that marriage is going.
That is not the lesson.
Yeah. That's my point. Like, you need to make sure that, I mean, and Pastor JJ preached about this red flag. Pastor JJ preached about this in the beginning of the sermon series, which is really know who you are. Like, I think you need to take some time to like, okay, what did I learn from this relationship? Why it didn't work? Sometimes it's just you guys weren't going to match, but, you know, make sure that you know who you are before you get into the next one, or who you are after that relationship before you get into the next one.
I think we talk a lot about medicating our pain with alcohol, with drugs, and what we don't talk about enough is how we medicate our pain with romance and with people. And so the next relationship cannot be the way you get over the last relationship. I've even heard people talk about that. You just need to get on a date and get him out of your system. Like, that's not how you get someone out of your system. You get someone out of your system through time and through prayer and through patience. Because that next person that you're dating shouldn't have to deal with the effect of what happened with the last person. So, and for sure. All right. In today's hookup culture, what does courtship mean to you, and is it still relevant? I.e., how does one date in a godly way? My card says ask Dave.
Oh, okay.
I don't know why, but I'm going to ask
the only one
Dave.
engaged.
Oh, because you're engaged?
Yeah.
And you dated well?
I think so.
Did he date well, Bridget?
We dated well, right?
Did? All right.
All right, so courting in a hookup culture. I looked up the word courting, And what it meant, and I don't want to give a long-winded answer, but in the 1500s, it was when a guy would like try to convince a girl to marry him. And then in the 1800s, it was like just trying to convince like the community that this was the right person for you. And so that's the approach that I took when I was trying to court Bridget. I came from a lot of broken relationships where I made a lot of mistakes, where I rushed into things, where I led with my emotions and not with the Spirit of God. And so when I got into the season of pursuing her, one of the first things I did was I brought my community into her. I brought her into my community, and I asked them, is this a good person for me? Is this someone who you guys think is trustworthy, who is reliable? Because I think a lot of the times we kind of rush into the romance part of it, but we spend months just being friends, getting to know each other, because we needed both an off-ramp in case it wasn't going to work out. And that's what season of courtship was for us. In a culture where it's all about hooking up, it's about let's get to home base instead of just like, let's go to first base first. And not like in a sexual way, but like let's take the steps. Let's get to know each other. Let's let our people get to know you. A really big thing for me was making sure that my parents loved her as a person. And then my friends loved her. And when I got the okay from them, I was like, okay, we can step into this next phase of dating. And I think I was really courting her for about a year when I realized, okay, this is the person that I really want to spend the rest of my life with. And so we got engaged after 2 years. So I would say don't rush into, the final step. I had a friend tell me, don't feel like you're missing out on life because it's not happening for you right now. Just trust in God's timing. And this person told me this in like 2016, and I met Bridget 6 years later, so.
Wow. That's really good, Dave. Now I know why they told me to ask you the question. And so something that Dave said I think is important, but also we got to give it a caveat, is the importance of including community in that process. I think that really depends on who your community is. If you got godly community, then godly community should be giving you some really good godly advice. Like, hey, I'm getting good vibes. But if you come from a dysfunctional community, what is functional looks dysfunctional to someone who is raised dysfunctionally. And so whenever you say, hey, we're waiting for marriage to have sex, they look at you like, what? That's wild. How you gonna know if they're the one if you ain't had sex with them? Which is the craziest idea to me that I've ever heard in my entire life. But they're gonna ask you things like that. And so definitely bring them into your community, but also check who your community is. Because if your community is not godly, then you cannot count on them to give you godly advice. Yeah. There's a follow-up question here. I'm just gonna give it because Bridget's right here. And then we'll go to a text one.
Yeah,
and it's
so
probably a question that someone else has in the audience.
how did you know he was the one?
How did you know Dave was the one?
So I knew two ways. So
When did you know? Let me start there.
when did I know? I knew, I want to say probably 3 to 4 months into like our friendship. That's
Okay.
when I knew. So
Okay.
I want to say
That's pretty early.
one of the first things that really like stood out to me was how much he like genuinely loved me. So like I have a history as in my past relationships of not like really feeling enough for them. So like I was either too much of something. I was either too gentle or too loving or too New York, to be honest. Like I was too like my accent was too much. I was too like I was too much of something. So I was never enough. Like, and so then I was a little nervous, also because I didn't grow up in church. So Dave did grow up in church. So I was nervous that I wasn't going to be accepted from him.
Were you serving God though?
I was, yeah.
We met at Journey Church, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, hey!
Yeah, we did. It's actually a really funny story, but we're not here for that. But anyways, so
3 or 4 months in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we were friends, and then at the time that we were friends, I was actually like in a rough place, and he just loved me so genuinely, and like so wholly. Like he loved me entirely, and that was one of the first things I was like, this is different. And
Holy, shout out to the
right.
series.
And so then I started to develop feelings, and I was kind of running away from them. And so then that was the first time that I felt like he was the one. And then the second confirmation was I prayed and I fasted. I prayed and I fasted for about 10 days, and it didn't take long for the Lord to confirm to me that he was the one for
It's
me.
awesome. Did you feel the same way?
Yeah.
Did you feel the same way 3 to 4 months in?
So I grew up in church, and all my relationships were
Just
in
really
church.
quickly, did you feel the same way?
I just want to
I don't need
preface,
background.
It took me a while to get there because of my past. 'Cause
Okay, so no.
I had seen so many friends in church get married and get divorced.
Yeah.
That I was like really guarded. Even though I really cared for her.
Yeah.
I knew that I loved her. It took me some time to say like, this is the person I really want to commit the rest of my
Yeah,
life
that's
with.
fair. How long?
I'll say I fell in love with her immediately, but I knew she was the one about a year in.
Hold up, wait a minute. You fell in love with her immediately? Because that's a whole nother red flag right there.
Immediately, as in like within the 4-month process that we were getting hooked up. Sorry.
No, you're good. All right, that's great. How did you know I was the one?
I will say, so just real
okay.
quick.
I'm sorry.
I fell in love with the fact that she was serving the church. That's how I met her. She was serving the local
Amen.
church. And that was a big thing for me.
Yeah, that's so good. So good. By the way, there's no question off limits. I want the questions to be as real as possible, because we're going to answer them best we can. This is a safe space. This might not make it to YouTube because of that. And so, because I'm not going to be held accountable for my answers to the world. But how did you know I was the one?
Yeah, so I did the
Yeah,
same
so,
thing.
You see, it's not easy.
No, we were just talking about this the other day too, because we do this thing where I'm like, I love you, and then he says, I loved you first, because he knew I was the one before I did.
Yeah.
But he approached me, which is not always he basically, after talking for a while and friendship for a while, said that he felt like I was the one. But I had been in so many relationships, failed relationships before that. I was like, well, you could tell me that, but I need God to tell me
Yes.
that you're the one. So
without
I
saying,
did.
by the way, without
Yeah.
even, hopefully we're going to talk about it, don't ever, ever take someone else's, God told me you're the one for me.
Yeah.
Don't add any weight to that. Because you have a relationship with God, and He
Exactly.
would tell you that.
Yeah,
If I had to
Exactly.
tell somebody, God's got my number.
yeah,
If He wants to tell me, He would tell
right.
me.
And that's what I told you. So,
But
yeah.
I didn't tell you God told me you're the one for me.
In other ways, but yeah. You said you're the one. That's it. You didn't say
Yeah, but I
God
didn't say
told
God.
me.
I could be
Because
off.
You didn't say God told me.
I could be wrong.
You look pretty sure.
I was.
But it's okay. Anyway, so I prayed and fasted. Same thing. I prayed and fasted, and he preached about this. And I asked God for 3 signs. I can't remember all of them. One of them was that my dad would tell me that I should date him, which my dad has never told me that I should date anybody. That his parents would, which he asked them to tell him so that we can continue our story.
Yeah.
And I can't remember what the third one was, but yeah.
Me neither. For me, it was, and I tell this story all the time, we were praying in a prayer circle. And we were praying, I think we were praying for like lost people. And it was her turn to pray. And by the way, that's a great way. Here,
For real.
whenever you're dating somebody and you want to find out if they're a Christian, don't ask them if they're a Christian.
Yeah.
Because they're always going to give you the answer that they're going to think that you want to hear.
Yeah.
The Bible says you will know them by their fruit.
Yeah.
And so you got to get around their life enough. Or if you don't have a lot of time, ask them to pray. And hear them pray. And you'll be able to know right now, off the bat, just how. And so I saw her praying. And she was praying for lost people. And she was crying for lost people. Her tears, and one of her tears hit my hand. I'll never forget it. And it was like fire on my hand. I don't know why you're laughing. It was spiritual. It was powerful. And I was like, this is who I want to spend the rest of my life with. Somebody who shares my purpose. Somebody who shares my mission in life.
Yeah.
So that's how I knew.
Sorry, I'm
Next
sorry.
question.
Yeah, you want to pick one? Because I think
Go ahead. You got it. I trust you. You
don't
got it.
pick- yeah.
Which one do you like?
Well, when's the right time to get married? We kind of already, I feel like we answered that.
Yeah, we did a whole sermon on that.
Yeah.
But yeah, when's the right time to get married?
How to pursue a girl or a guy in a non-creepy way.
I love that. A non-creepy way. Has anybody ever here been pursued in a creepy way? Anybody ever been pursued in a creepy
Somebody
way?
out there was like, yes, yes.
You guys have been pursued in a creepy way? You're like, nope, that's why we're on this panel. Anyway, You've been pursued in a creepy way?
Yeah, for sure.
What was it?
So I was an intern at another church, and another one of the interns, we would do social media stuff, photos, videos. She took still clips of me and sent them to me, like with the kissing face, but I was just mid-talking. So it was just her trying to send signals like, hey, we can talk this and that. It was, I had to respectfully decline.
Yeah. It's because of your voice.
I did that same thing, except she loved it.
She what?
I said I did the same thing, and she loved it.
She loved it?
Pictures? Like,
Red flag.
So what you're saying is...
I asked to serve. I was like, please put me on. Please let me serve.
Okay.
And I just took pictures. I mean, hey.
So you did that. You sent still pictures of her with
I don't
kissy
recommend that
face
for everybody.
emojis?
It could go sideways. It could go really sideways. But it turns out she's as weird
some
as I am.
people like creepy.
This is a whole nother conversation. What does flirting look like for a Christian?
Yeah, that's true.
I'm going to ask you, Pastor Liz.
Oh.
Is it okay for Christians to flirt? And what is Christian flirting look like? And what does devil flirting look like? I don't know. I don't even know the other version of that. Can you Christian flirt?
Well,
put your green flag up if you think you can Christian flirt, or if you think, put your red flag up if you think flirting is never okay. You should never flirt. Okay.
Wow.
Okay. I better see y'all today then. Do your thing. Okay. Let's see y'all do your thing.
So what is the definition of flirting though?
Yeah. So I think it's to let somebody know that you're interested in them.
Okay. But not, because I've heard that it's letting someone know you're interested, but not trying to commit.
Yeah, no, that wouldn't be okay.
Okay, yes,
Yeah, no.
that's not okay. If you're just trying to let someone know you're interested and you're serious,
But you of all people
yeah, I don't think you should ask me this question.
should be okay
Yeah,
with Christians flirting.
right. As
And
long
even
as,
women Christian
of course,
flirting, because
yes,
a lot of women
I
have
do.
a follow-up question. It's okay for a woman
I do
to
think
flirt
so.
and all that. Yeah,
I do.
And
As
why
long-
do you think so? Wait. Why do you think so?
Because I flirted with you. You want me to tell everybody? You know what I found out? This is green flags. You know what I found out like last year at a marriage conference? So I found out that he had rejection issues. A year ago, I found this out. So then I found out that if I would have never flirted with him, this wouldn't happen.
No. Wouldn't happen. Which is why I always say to women who feel like, hey, you can ask the question live if you dare. But I think it's, someone asked me, is it okay if I pursue? Is it okay if I initiate? And I'm like, I don't know about pursue, but I definitely think it's okay to initiate.
Yeah.
And it sometimes doesn't even have to do with the lack of confidence in the guy. Sometimes it has to do with just personality,
Right.
type or trait. And your flirting was like, I asked you, it was Valentine's Day. You said Happy Heart Day. I said, spend it with someone who will make you smile. And then you said, well, when you come into Orlando.
I did. That's the truth.
That's true.
And then we went on a date like a couple.
But then I took it from there.
Yeah.
So what I would say to especially to women is, hey, like, it's
Let
enough
them know
to-
you're interested.
Yeah, like it's enough to get to that
Right.
point. But
Right.
then if he's like, okay, well, I'm not going to Orlando anytime soon.
Yeah.
And then you're like, but I really think you should.
Yeah.
Like, nah, don't do that. Like,
Yeah.
but it's okay.
I think it's okay if you're serious about getting into a relationship with that person, not just so that you can have a fling. Yeah.
100%.
Let's not hurt people.
100%. I want to get to live questions if you dare. If not, I got some text ones and some some written ones. But if you got a question, just raise your hand. Someone with a microphone is going to come up to you. And just time-wise, we got to be at 7:50. So, and then we'll get into, is the green flag, you have a question? Okay, yeah. So tell your name. Can we get the camera on this gentleman? Tell your name, tell your age, and your relationship status.
All right.
What's your name?
My name is Javon Munker.
Javon.
I am 24 years old.
24.
And I'm single, ready to mingle.
Single, ready to mingle. All right, Javon, since we already said it, what's your profession?
My profession, I work in a warehouse.
Warehouse. Okay, it's
simple
good,
stuff.
24.
Yeah. Okay. So my question is it better to look at a man or a woman through how they look or stay long enough to see how they make you feel?
Is it better to judge or to stay with someone, you said?
Is it better to look at a man or a woman
Uh-huh.
through how they look
And
or
you
stay
evaluate
long
them.
enough.
Yeah, I get you. So you're saying evaluate them through their looks or alone or looks and inner personality and all that?
No, how you make them feel, like if you take them out or if you just make them feel by just talking, conversating, and all
How
that
you
stuff.
make them feel. I don't understand what that
How they make you
How they
feel?
make you feel.
How you, like, say if I talking to a girl, if I make her feel nice, if I make her feel, you know, like she's worthy.
Oh, I don't understand the question. So,
Are you asking for you? I'm like,
oh, should he be should you be judged?
Oh, okay.
Should you? Oh.
I was
All
lost
right.
too, babe.
Thank you. This is gonna be a very honest night. If y'all questions don't make sense, I'm gonna let you know. That don't make sense to me. Great question, Javon. Now that I understand
After
it.
we understand.
Great questions. So you're a woman.
Yeah.
So when you're evaluating a man, do you evaluate them just on their looks?
No.
Because even when you started, just when
Yes.
it looks, the women were upset when you said that. Did you hear that? Some people were like, I don't know. Because when we
Wait,
dated,
just on your looks.
right,
You got it?
right.
Okay.
So go ahead, tell them the story. I mean,
What?
answer the question.
He did not know how to dress. I'm not putting him on blast because he'll tell you himself. That's why I dress him. So,
Yeah.
but
I did not have it all together on the
no.
outside.
So, but I thought he was cute. I mean, you.
So there
need
has to be at least that.
Yes, you need to be
Like
attracted. I'm
Javon,
not
it doesn't
saying-
matter if you're Jesus incarnate. If she don't
Yeah.
think you're attractive, it's not gonna work. So
Yeah,
there's gotta be some of that.
yeah, And-
Attraction is
right.
a part of the formula.
right.
A part.
Yeah.
But it can't be the only part.
Exactly. Yeah, that's important because I had dated guys that they were really fly.
Which, by the way,
Sorry. Fly.
when we started,
He's fly.
yeah, thank you. When we first started dating, she's like, "You're nothing like the guys I used
No,
to date."
let me-
I'm like, "What
yeah.
you mean?" She's like, "They were a lot bigger and a lot." I was like, "What?"
No, let's be clear. I did not say that. My brother said that.
But you didn't stop him, and
Okay.
you amened it.
But I didn't say that.
Go ahead with your answer. Finish your answer for Javon. He's waiting.
Anyways, but I just did not like their personalities. I couldn't get past it. So you can't just go by their looks. But then when I talked to him, it was like just a whole nother level of handsomeness came out. So it has to be both, yes.
Yeah, no, Javon, I think it's not either or. I think it's going to be a combination of both. And so, but it's going to start off with the physical attraction. I think that's the first thing that's going to pull you in. But then, someone on the inside can be ugly. And that can just turn it all around. And then the longer the relationship goes, the longer you get married. When you're married, years, it's honestly the physical, that stuff's going to fade. That stuff's not gonna last. It becomes less and less important. The more you've invested, the more you can fall in love with that. There's a verse in the Bible that says, though the outward is fading away, the inside
Yes.
is being renewed day
Right.
by day. I think
Exactly.
that happens when you're with
Yep.
somebody for a long
Yeah.
time. So, great question, Javon. Next question. Yes, your name, your age, and your relationship status.
Hi, I'm Jacqueline. I'm 32.
Jacqueline, 32.
You said
Relationship status. Are you single?
Yes, I'm single.
And are you available?
She's like, don't make me say it.
Everybody had to say it.
Yeah.
I'd be interested.
Okay.
To
All right.
just see what's out there.
What's your question?
So if you could just talk about how difficult it is, or is it super difficult to date someone that's in a different level of like their relationship with God? Like, because I know we look at equally yoked, and for some people that's you need to be in the same exact place, but everybody isn't always there. So
Yeah.
if you could talk about that.
Yeah, I'll take that question. Great question. Is it Jacqueline? Great question, Jacqueline. Absolutely. Yeah. So a lot of times we think unequally yoked as Christian and non-believer. But that's not always the case, because to be unequally yoked was you had one ox that was this size, and you had another, it was a goat typically, if you couldn't afford an ox, that was this size. They were both farm animals. Even further, if it was an ox that was young, it wasn't the same size as the ox, it would still be unequally yoked, because once the yoke is on, it tilts, then somebody's gonna pull the other person. And so unequally yoked doesn't mean believer, non-believer. It means, are you on my level? In order for the yoke to work, y'all gotta be on the same level. I think I said this in one of the podcasts that we were doing, but when God made Adam, he said it is not good for man to be alone, which is wild because if you think about it, he had God. So God wasn't saying, though, that I'm not enough for you. God was saying, I'm here, but the reason why you need more than me, even though we say all we need is God, right, is because I'm a level above you. I gave you animals, they're a level below you. What you need is someone on your level. You need another person so that you can go through life with. If you're called to being single, you need a friend, you need a relationship, but you cannot go, but they gotta be on the same level. Now, I think that you gotta define what level is. I think level is level of maturity. I think level of spiritual maturity. I think finances is, what would you say, finances, same level finances?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so yeah, maybe. You know, it just
Well,
depends.
okay, not like you both make the same. I mean, you have the same, like,
Professional mindset.
or just the same.
Philosophy for finances.
Exactly.
Philosophy for
Sorry.
finances. There you go.
Yeah.
You gotta be. And because it's called dating, not discipleship.
Yeah. Exactly.
One person
Right.
cannot be the spiritual mentor
Right. Constantly.
of the other person.
Because what's gonna happen when you're down?
Yeah. It's hard enough
Yeah.
for me to follow Christ.
Right.
I can't follow Christ and drag you.
Right.
It's too much.
Yeah.
It's too hard.
Yeah.
Now, when you're married, it's different. When you become married, the man becomes the priest of the home, and he does take on a spiritual responsibility to lead his home. But you got to make sure that before you make that decision, you found somebody who can do that.
Yeah.
So, did you want to add anything to that, baby?
No, I think that's super important. I think about, like, I think that's why so many relationships were failed before you, is because I'm like, they're just not on my level. And if they're not on my level now, when you get married, it's not like something's gonna click and all of a sudden they're on your level. Like, marriage already has its challenges. Add to that, you're not on the same level. There's gonna be a lot of arguments. They're not gonna understand why you constantly wanna come to church. They're not gonna understand why you tithe, why you're reading the Bible. Like, when you start raising kids, you're not gonna have the same ideals. There's gonna be so many fights that could be avoided if you just find someone that's on your level.
Like, even if they both go to church.
Yeah.
Like, there's levels to this.
Yes, there is.
And so I'm like, are you serving on a team? Because
Right.
I'm serving on a team.
Yeah,
Like,
I want to be with somebody who encourages me to get closer to God, not the other way around.
yeah, it's really good. Really good. Going over here? Where we at?
Hi, I'm Jimmy.
Jimmy, give it the camera on Jimmy. Yeah, Jimmy.
I'm 29.
29.
And I'm single.
Single. And Jimmy goes to my gym.
Yeah, I did.
So Jimmy
I did
works
see
out.
you at the gym.
Go, Jimmy.
My question is, how do you find clarity in finding your purpose or your calling?
This is a relationship night,
just
Jimmy.
in general.
You got to make this question. Can you spin
in your
this?
season of singleness, trying to find your purpose or calling, how do you know the clarity?
I was making about relationships. She said, sure. In your season of singleness, how do you find your purpose or your calling? That's a great question, Jimmy. I mean, I would like more questions to be on relationships, but you can't get into a relationship if you don't have the answer to that question.
That's good, yeah.
So in a sense, it is connected. You need to know who you are. So I think one of the best ways to do that is to serve. Dave said he was looking for somebody who was serving in the church because Dave knew that's what he was called to do. You know what I'm saying? So you got to know what you're called to do in life. You got to know your purpose. And that's what singleness is for. And I think the best way to do that is to try different things. So I tell people all the time, listen, if you're not on the dream team, get on the dream team. And if you don't know what your purpose is, get on like one team at a time, maybe 8 different teams. Try Journey Kids, try Journey Youth, try greeters, try host, try production, try AV. Something should come alive in you. And I think there's a base purpose, and the base purpose should be to know God and make him known at the very base. And that manifests itself differently as you go through life in different avenues. But you and a person have got to be about that base level of purpose of I live to know God and to make him known. Or to make Jesus accessible to anyone would be, another one. Do you want anything to that?
No, I think that's good. Yeah, even when I had a 40s midlife crisis, my therapist doesn't call it a crisis, but midlife, whatever he wanted to call it. And he literally told me the same thing. Like, if you're trying to figure out what you want to continue to do for the rest of your life, try different things. But yeah, that would be it. Try.
Question to the panel. How long have you been single? So on the panel, raise your hand if you've been single at least a year. You've been single at least a year. Raise your hand, at least a year. Okay. Raise your hand if you've been single 2 years. 2 years. You've been single 2 years or under. More than 3 years. You've been single for more than 3 years. Wow. Okay, great. That's where I was, right? Raise your hand if you've been single for over 5 years. Over 5 years. Wow, okay. Interesting. You're finding your purpose. You found it. You got it. Again, it's great. Nothing wrong with that, by the way. I was just interested, just curious. Next question. Yeah.
So I wanted to know
what name, age, and then let's get the camera on him real quick so we can see. Yeah, name, age, and relationship status.
My name is Jesse. I'm 28. I'm single. My question is, though, what is the biggest red flag that I could look for when dating, or not even dating, getting to know a Christian woman? And not just any Christian woman, one that's serving God. She's in the church, I come to Journey, serve on the safety team. So, yeah, shout out safety team. I see y'all over there. But, yeah, that's really my main question. Like, how could I find that? Because I ain't gonna lie, there's a lot here, but I ain't a creep, I ain't trying to, do none of that. So I just want to know how I know.
All right, first off, I'm going to just address the fact that you're not a creep. You're not a creep. And I know this because you serve safety and sometimes you'll shadow me. And so you're a cool dude. But I don't think it's creepy to, if you're interested in somebody or you think somebody is attractive, to get to meet them, to get to know them. I think we got to be okay with letting people who we find attractive know that we're there. I'm not saying that you gotta ask for their digits at the moment you meet them, or that you're gonna, keep a black book of all the girls you meet at Journey. But I do think that there's something that I think that we just stay praying. God, show us the one, bring us the one, and God is like, amen. But faith without deeds is dead. And so while I'm all for waiting on the Lord, 100%. While I'm waiting, I'm not waiting. You get what I'm saying? So I'm not saying that I'm gonna go, hey, what you doing on Friday? I'll be like, hey, my name's, I see you've been coming here for a long time. What's your name? And then that's cool. And then you start there building a friendship, getting to know somebody. So I just wanted to encourage you on that point, because you say, I don't want to give off the wrong vibes or anything. You're just getting to know people, and that's friendly if you start off with those intentions. As far as the biggest red flag, I don't know that there's a biggest. There's just a bunch of red flags, but can you think of just, if you had to think of the biggest red flag? Go ahead, yeah, biggest red flag?
I can probably help. What came to mind is I think of because it could be personal, personal to your values. So I think of, for me, a red flag for me would be someone who isn't humble, because that's a big value of mine. Someone who is humble and servant. You know what I'm saying? So I would say, look at your values. What is something big to you? And if that person goes against that, then for you, as an individual, that would be a big red flag for you. So if for you, for instance, family is something that is big for you. It's a big value. You're a family person. And that maybe this person disrespects their grandmother or something. That is a big red flag, because you value family and they don't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I would say,
that's a good question. Yeah, that's a good question. I'll piggyback off that. I'll say you need to decide what your non-negotiables are.
Correct.
Because you're not gonna meet anybody who's perfect. So you gotta figure out, what are you okay with and what are you not okay with. And I would say the things that you are not okay with should be the biblical things, the things that are values, and maybe not the shallow things necessarily, she's not blonde, or she's not whatever, because I'm don't put God in a box. God can surprise you. When I wrote out the girl that I was gonna marry, okay, it was dark skin, black hair, and a singer. Because I thought I preach and should do worship. God gave me, when I met Liz, she was light skinned.
I have blonde
She
hair.
had blonde hair.
And I cannot sing.
And God bless her soul, but she cannot hold the notes. And so all of the shallow things faded away, and all of the things that are not transient, things that last, the things that make a person, those things came through. So when you create that list of non-negotiables, make sure it's not the shallow things, and make sure it's really like the biblical things. And then whenever somebody crosses one of those non-negotiables, you're like, that's just not it for me. And then when you do find their imperfections, another thing is you gotta ask yourself, am I okay with this imperfection? Because you're gonna have to say that at something, because nobody's perfect. And so you gotta ask yourself, am I okay falling in love with this person just the way that they are?
If they never change.
If they never change,
Yeah.
you know? And so there was some things that were in me that Liz, she was probably like, I could roll with that. There was some things that were in her, and I was like, I'll roll with that. Because the good outweighed the bad. So, you know, but yeah, you gotta have the non-negotiables. Just want anything.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah.
Cool. Next question. Yes. Tell us your name, your age, and your relationship status, please.
So my name is Alasia.
Alasia?
Yes, I'm 29 years old. I am in a relationship. My mother is single.
Okay, mama.
She's a
Let's go.
And
How old's your mama?
She said no. She said no. She said no.
my mother
She said, I'm not answering that question.
will be 50 in June.
Woo!
Let's go.
You look good.
Be proud of it. You don't look 50, girl. Be proud
You
of
look
it.
good.
Okay. My question
Is your mother ready to date?
Listen, I'm looking for a stepdaddy. So.
I'm dead. I'm so dead. That's a good daughter.
Juan, how old you say you was, Juan? How old you say you was, Juan? How old you say you was again? Said 50? 52. Okay. Hey, if y'all make this happen, I pay for the first date. I pay for the first date. All right? I'm just saying. Hey, he's a businessman. Malaysia, I'm sorry. I got so into your mother's story.
It's totally fine.
Juan will be in the karaoke
come
section.
See me and we'll make it happen.
Go ahead. Malaysia.
My question is, how much weight should you give someone's past behaviors in their past relationships when pursuing them, especially if you are pursuing them before they found their relationship with Christ?
You're pursuing them before.
So if they were in relationships before they found God or got baptized or came to the church, how much weight should you give those behaviors?
What a great question. What a great question. So the gospel story is a story about your mom is like, I'm gonna get you when you get home. The gospel story, the Jesus story, is a story of redemption. If we believe that people cannot change, we do not believe the gospel. So we got to believe the gospel. The gospel can change people's lives. However, you got to be okay knowing that past and embracing it for all that it is, because I got more questions. That past might come with a medical history. And you got to know those things. That past might come with children. You got to be okay with that. And so there are some further questions that you got to ask. My question on whether or not someone has changed, and I've said this before, is what changed? Don't tell me you've changed if you can't tell me what changed you. Now, in this case, it's Jesus. So that's good, okay? But now I'm going to get to know you enough to see whether or not that change is for real. Because when you meet somebody, you are meeting their representative. You are not meeting that actual person. You are meeting the best version of themselves, which is why it is a huge red flag. If in the dating process, y'all already fighting and you already think he's a jerk, because that was him at his best. That was him trying. Can you imagine what it looks like when he thinks he got it locked down? So you just got to know that, and you got to be with them long enough, listen, for them to stop pretending and to be authentic. And then you get to see the real them. So tell me you've changed. That's awesome. Tell me why you've changed. And then I got to be able to see long enough to know that you changed. Because a dead clock is right twice a day. So I gotta be around you long enough to know, have you actually changed? So the short answer is we believe the gospel. Yeah. But the long answer is we also believe in wisdom, and we're gonna use that in finding out whether or not that person is changed or not. Yeah, sure. Austin, go ahead, add to that.
Yeah, so it depends on how you know that person's past. Are you hearing it from other people? Do you know this person yourself? Because chances are, they could be a great person. Everybody has a past. We all have a past, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So it depends on if you're hearing it from somebody else or if you have had a close encounter. And when you start out, it's free game to ask people questions, but it's also their free game to decline to answer. They don't owe you anything because you guys are not married. You guys are not months in. Speaking from the person who has a past, I've lived this exact thing. I'm so grateful to God that my girlfriend gave me a chance. When the people who knew me, Pastor JJ knows me, and I was so scared when she went to Pastor JJ. She's like, I gotta talk to JJ. I'm like, don't. JJ's known me since I was like 15, so I'm like, man, like he's just gonna tell her everything. And I was a jerk to you, dude, when I was little, so I'm sorry. But, you have a chance to grow up and to really walk out the Christian life. So, you look back on your past and it's like, all right, I've been there, I've done that, but how can I grow? And is this somebody who's gonna help me grow? Or does this person want to push me deeper into the things that I wanna change from? But also take a look at your past, Is it worse than theirs? Or, there's not really you can't really measure it, but I would say, pray about it, give them a chance, but they're not gonna be able to, they can tell you, and other people might tell you, ultimately what's gonna speak is the fruit that they bear.
Yeah. For all have sinned and fall short of the glory of God. I know a young man who was like, I can't be with her. I was like, why? And this is a big red flag, but he was like, because she's not a virgin, or we had sex and now I know I can't. And I'm just like, for all have sinned, so we all make mistakes. I think that's a great place to start when reflecting something. But I will say, just to add a caveat to what you said, that person has the right to decline the answer to the question, for sure, but not before you get to the altar. Not every question needs to be asked on the first date. Not every question needs to be asked on the first date, but every question needs to be answered before you pop the question.
Yeah.
Every question. There's no opportunity at that point of, well, I'm just not there yet. Well, if you're not there yet, I'm not there yet. And so you got to make sure you know everything about that person before you get there, because you won't be surprised. So last question. Oh, we got 4 more minutes? Okay, we take it to 8:20, so maybe 2 or 3 more. Go ahead. Your name, your age, and your relationship status. Can we get the camera? Can we get the camera on the young lady? All right. Tell her your name, your age, and relationship status.
Hi, my name is Samantha. I'm 22, and my status is unknown.
Your status is unknown. All right, no, I love it. It's a situationship.
No. You guys need to hear me out. That's the point of the question.
What was that?
So it's unknown because my fear is that, is it wrong for me to avoid meeting someone because I feel like I'm not accomplished in my career?
Okay. Wait. I'm still trying to get over unknown. Your relationship status is unknown, as in you don't know if you're single or not?
Yeah, I do know Duh. Sorry, the nerves. Yes, I am single. Sorry.
You are single. Okay. That's why we were raising the flag, because we thought you said you didn't know if you were single or not, which is very common, actually.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. And the question was I still couldn't get over the unknown thing, so I didn't hear the rest. Is
it wrong for me to avoid meeting someone because I feel like I'm not accomplished in my career?
In your career, specifically in your career. And you're how old?
I'm 22.
You're not supposed to be established in your career at 22. And I want to start there. I think that there's a lot of pressure on social media. I think there's a lot of pressure on YouTube that we're supposed to have it all figured out at 22. And God bless those who knew. I knew early on what I was supposed to be doing.
I think she's confused about knowing who you are and then knowing your career. That's different.
I just want to give her peace of mind that she is not behind, that you're doing good. Right. You're doing well.
That's how I feel.
And so
behind.
yeah, just know that you're not behind. You're doing well. And it's not wrong. It's not wrong to want to pursue a relationship if you don't have that. No, keep standing. Until you have that figured out. Here's my question would be like, do you know what you want to do in life? Do you know where you're going? Like when you see your life, the vision of your life, 20, 30 years from now, do you see it even though you're not there yet? Because it's one thing to say, I know where I want to go, I'm just not there yet. And it's another thing to say, I don't know where I want to go. One is a vision, the other is confusion. So my question is, do you know where you want to go in life?
Yes.
Okay, so then it's absolutely okay to pursue a relationship because as you're looking for someone, you want to find someone who's headed in the same direction as you. Now, if you didn't know the answer to that question, then I would say hold off because you don't want to latch onto someone else, fall so in love with them, you follow them to their destiny and walk away from yours and not realize it till you're 40 that this is not what God had called you to do. So great question once I understood it. It's a great question. Do you want to add anything to that?
No, I think it's good. You've talked about this before. And when you at least know where you're going, you go on that path. And you don't always have to be, you're at singles night now, so you're looking. But everywhere you go, you don't have to always be but you just go on the path that God has laid out for you. And then while you're on that path is when you meet each other, just like, how
Absolutely.
it did with us. But it's important that you know what path you're on so that you can find a person who's on that same path.
Gotta know it. That's what we were talking about right here.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, last question, y'all. This is the last question of the night. I don't get to pick. They pick. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Tell your name and your age and your relationship status.
My name is Nicole. I'm 24 and I'm single.
All right. And available?
And available, yes.
All right, Nicole.
100%.
What's your question? 100%.
I wanted to ask, how do you let down a homie in Christ?
How do you
in
what?
In a gentle way. How do you let down a homie in Christ?
How do you let down a homie in Christ?
I think she's saying break up. How do you break up?
That's so good. Just the way you phrased it. So you're saying, I gotta clarify, how do you break up with someone or how do you let someone know that you're not interested?
How do you let them know you're not interested? They're
All right.
into you and you're like, oh.
Yeah. Whoever it is just found out. That's him right there? Oh, okay. I saw some guy standing up. I thought I was like, that's him. He knows. How would you answer that?
No, I think you need to be honest. That's how I am. You need to just be honest, not text, face to face, because that's mean. I think you just need to be honest because you don't want to keep leading that person on, falling deeper into wanting to be with you. They need to be able to move on so they can find somebody else.
Yeah, so I would add to that, we have a sound that we say here on our staff in talking to each other. We didn't come up with this from Brene Brown, but she says, clear is kind. And so sometimes we think we're being unkind by rejecting, by letting them know that we're not interested, by letting them know that, this isn't really it. But, and then by doing that, we actually do the unkind thing because we're letting them think that there's a chance, that there's an opportunity. The nicest thing, see, that's the irony. You're having a hard time because I'm just hearing you seem like a nice person, and you don't want to hurt someone's feelings. You do more damage with the subtleties. You do more damage with the wrap around. I'm just waiting for the Lord to shine some things in my life. Bro, even if you had everything, he's not the one. You can know it already. You just need to let him know, hey, I appreciate you being interested. That's very kind of you. To be honest, I don't share that interest, but thank you for letting me know. And I will see you at what service you go to again? First service? So I'll be in the third, you know, and I'll be in the third. In the first, and I'll be in the third. All right. Did you want to add to that, Dave?
Yeah, just don't say God told me.
God told me you're not the one?
Yeah, because a lot of people go, oh, God told me you're not the one, when they're just using God as an excuse.
Oh, that's good. Don't use God as a scapegoat.
Just man up or woman up and say, hey, this is not the one for me.
Yes.
Hey, we're JJ and Liz Vasquez. We wanted to say thank you so much for watching and engaging in today's content.
Maybe today you made the decision to follow Jesus. We want to celebrate the incredible decision that you made. All you have to do is text JOURNEY to 55498. We would love to walk this journey out alongside you.
Hey, and don't let the journey stop here. We'd love for you to do one of three things: subscribe, share, or support. If this ministry has blessed you at all, subscribe so you don't miss out on any new videos. Share with a friend. You never know what the people closest to you are going through. Or you can choose to partner with us through generosity, which helps bring these videos to people just like you. Thank you so much for connecting with us. Be blessed.